Good evening, I'm Dennis Ward. Welcome to APTN National News. In Ottawa, thousands came together to mark the second annual National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. It was a day to honor residential school survivors and the ones who didn't make it home. Here's Annette Francis with that story.
Walk together in peace, understanding and healing.
The opening ceremony started with a prayer and performances. Then the spirit walk from Parliament Hill to LeBreton Flats began. It was a somber event. Thousands made the 2-kilometer walk wearing orange shirts. 24-year-old Naomi Palche says it was an emotional experience.
The whole time I was thinking about the children who are being found, the ones still not found, the survivors that didn't come home. I was also thinking about, our homeless population and our Indigenous individuals who are suffering with addictions, mental health issues.
For residential school survivor Joshua Frog, there was a sense of healing.
I was thinking that I survived, and I'm here today, and I'm walking with my daughter, and she was drumming and singing. The very things that they tried to take away from us, she was doing it. I was so proud. I was just crying along the way.
His daughter, Janine, agrees.
It was really emotional, too, for me, but it was really empowering at the same time, because knowing the things that my dad went through and our family has gone through, the things that we're still going through is still impacting us really strongly, and today we're able to really rise above that.
It was a tearful time for Bruce Kayuda as well.
I got to sing some songs in Inuktitut. One of our members was holding a drum, and we got to sing and drum together. And to see all the names of the children was overwhelming, and there were tears.
With the day and events coming to an end, most here agree healing and reconciliation must continue day to day. Annette Francis, APTN National News, Ottawa.
Former Assiniboine Residential School is the only standing residential school in Winnipeg, and former students wanted to honor the grounds by creating a gathering space. Daryl Stranger joins us now at the unveiling of the space that's been years in the making.
I'm here at the site of the Assiniboine Residential School in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Now today there was a commemorative monument and gathering place unveiled, as you can see behind me. Now there was a good crowd today listening to plenty of survivors share their stories of their experience at residential school and what it means to them to be here today. Now one interesting and unique thing from today was that an elder was able to give us permission to film a pipe ceremony, which normally we do not get the chance to do, and the elder said it was for educational purposes. So that was quite a unique thing for us to be able to do, and it was really humbling to be able to do that as media, to be able to film such an important event.
As our original people, we move forward with our healing, because there's nothing else we can do but move forward and heal ourselves. Heal one another.
The sacred fire that's burning here today and the commemorative monument and gathering place was in memory of Ted Fontaine, and it was his vision that he wanted a place like this for survivors to gather and to educate, the general public on just what it was like to be at a residential school. And there were names on the ground as well. That was also his vision, to have the names of those students who attended residential school here. Now this is phase one of a more broader project to commemorate survivors and those who did not make it home from Assiniboine Residential School. Daryl Stranger, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
Thanks, Daryl. To Alberta now. About 200 people gathered for a walk for elders, who then made their way through the town of Stony Plain to honor Truth and Reconciliation Day. Chris Stewart was there.
There were orange shirts everywhere in the town of Stony Plain, Alberta, 30 minutes west of Edmonton. The Walk with Elders was held to honor those who died too young and to move forward with truth and reconciliation. The walk was led by Cree elder Philip Campio. He told APTN what today means to him.
Today means to be proud. It means that we're honoring truth and reconciliation. We're honoring the day that the government decided to declare it a holiday. We don't call it a holiday. We just call it a day of celebration that it's time to bring out the truth. It's time to reconcile about what happened in the past.
He says ancestors are here in spirit today.
Our ancestors are guiding us, are helping us, bringing people together in a good way that we move forward. Because how can we move forward without not knowing the truth?
Campio says no one expected this many people to participate.
It's a blessing to see so many young people here. It's a blessing to see so many people. I'm overwhelmed with it. I just can't get over how many people are here today to join us in this walk, and that it warms my heart.
Chris Stewart, APTN National News, Stony Plain, Alberta.
Now to Vancouver, where there were many events to commemorate the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation. APTN's Tina House joins us from East Vancouver.
We're here at Grandview Park in East Vancouver, and joining me today is Malikatla. Malikatla, always nice to see you.
Thank you, and it's always good to be with you, and also to see what is happening here today. It's a really wonderful day and a real strong outpouring of the beginning of understanding for everyone of every child matters. And I believe that the more people that we have participating on a day like today, the more progress that we will make toward the goals that we have set for truth and reconciliation to really and truly begin to take place.
Absolutely. Malikatla, would you share with us a little bit of your story and what school that you went to?
Oh, thank you. The school that I went to is St. Mary's Indian Residential School in Mission. I went to that concentration camp, they called a school, from 1947 to 1952. The thing that I remember the most is to be cold. I was always cold the whole 5 years that I was there, and being hungry because Mission had a systemic a scientific experiment of starvation diet. Aside from the fact of being removed from my family, I had to come from a very loving home and village. It was the singular worst experience of my life, and I've spent a lifetime of overcoming it.
Across the Northwest Territories, celebrations were taking place in Nunavut, Toledo, Fort Simpson, and many more communities. In Yellowknife, folks, young and old, showed up in their orange with the message, "Every child matters." Here's a look at that event.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Moore-Jacobs reporting from Sambata Yellowknife in Denendeh. A crowd is gathering for the second annual National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. Behind me, a prayer song will open today's events, along with speeches from survivors, elders, and Indigenous leaders. A little later on, the Yellowknives Dene will host a feeding of the fire ceremony, along with a feast and a drum dance, and stories from residential school survivors and intergenerational survivors.
Canada's plan was to turn the Indian child into a white person, a real Canadian, with your hair cut, hair taken off, your tattoos probably disappeared, and that was the real plan, Canada's real plan. But it didn't work out that way because I have to thank all those who spoke out about what's going to happen, and those are the real heroes.
Iqaluit residents gathered today in the middle of the community to mark September 30th. For a wet day, they got a full crowd. Our Ken Driscoll was there.
A crowd of hundreds took to the streets in Iqaluit to mark Truth and Reconciliation Day. Nunavut's population? 85% of the people are Inuit. That means a day recognizing what happened to residential school students hits hard here. It happened to so many. Jack Anawak is a residential school survivor and led the marchers today. For him, it isn't just the history. It's what remembering that history can do for Inuit today.
It's very important that we recognize the need for more mental health programs and escalate the mental health programs as much as possible over all of Canada, really.
Eva Ariak has worn many public service hats in her long career. Current Commissioner of Nunavut, former Premier, former Language Commissioner. She thinks this is a time for everyone to take notice and think.
And it's so wonderful to see so many people coming out here in the time of day to listen and to learn all across Canada. That includes us up here in the Arctic as well.
Nunavut's Premier was on hand to mark the occasion. Here he is with Nunavut Senator Dennis Patterson. Patterson's on the right in the sealskin jacket. He has hope that this event can help in the big picture of reconciliation.
It's a very important gathering right across the territory. I think really reconciliation has been something where Indigenous people are looking for action, and gatherings like this allow us to be able to reflect back in terms of the struggles Indigenous people face and really where we go from here.
This is the second year in a row that Iqaluit residents have marched on September 30th. With such a large, and by Iqaluit standards, turnout, it's pretty easy to see this event continuing on for years to come. Kent Driscoll, APTN National News, Iqaluit.
Thanks, Kent. And that is all the time we have for this shortened edition of APTN National News. That's because an encore presentation of Remembering the Children, a commemorative event that was held in Ottawa earlier today, is up next. You can find all of our coverage of this National Day for Truth and Reconciliation on our website. That's aptnnews.ca. I'm Dennis Ward. Thanks for being with us today. Have a great night.